Hello everyone, back tuning into today's first video. We're going to have a look at the ECMWF 30-day model for today's first video for the UK and Europe too. It's going to take us well into August. So we'll have a look at what the temperature and precipitation anomalies are forecast to be doing for the next 4 weeks. I'll get on with that for you very shortly. Just to say that coming up later on this afternoon, we're going to have your regular week to 10-day video update. I think we're going to do another update for Camp Festival as well today, and that will start to include other events that will be taking place on this last weekend of July. So that'll be probably with you this evening. Right, we're at the Hungarian Met Office for this one, so a big thank you to them for supplying the charts. We can't show you mean sea level pressure or 500 millibar heights, unfortunately, but you can get a broad idea what the model is forecasting in terms of the overall structured pattern from its temperature and precipitation anomalies. And we'll get on that for you right now. So you're going to start off with the week 1 temperature anomaly for Europe. This is week 29 of the year, of course. It's week 1 for our forecast period. It's taking us from the 15th through to the 21st of July. So you remember that just recently we've had some very, very cool, even you would say cold temperature anomalies in the east and northeast of Europe. We still have the legacy of that in the weekend. The temperatures are not as cold as they were last week, but nevertheless still quite substantially below average right way down the eastern side of Europe, from like Russia and the Baltic all the way down in towards Greece and Turkey. Actually, Greece and Turkey looking a lot cooler than average, but would still be very warm because it's in the southeastern Med, so it's still going to be very warm there, but certainly the anomaly to average is quite a lot below par. And then, as has been the case through the last week or two across Western Europe, it's generally a warmer scene. So on this western side, temperature anomalies again are above average. UK and Ireland, much of France down to Spain and Portugal, and into the central basin of the Mediterranean from Italy and Corsica, Sardinia westwards. It's generally warmer than average. Temperature anomalies around sort of 1 to 3 degrees, quite widely above average through this area, central parts of Spain, up to 3 to 6 degrees above that, so very, very hot through there, of course. So cooler in the east, warmer in the west, with an east-west divide through the Mediterranean as well. Precipitation anomalies looking like this in the week ahead from the 15th to the 21st of July. So the far northwest actually looks rather unsettled. Ireland and the UK overall a little bit above average with precipitation anomalies. Then we're very dry through these many central parts of Europe, kind of like from France in the west over to Ukraine in the east and all points in between. It's generally a dry on average scene, so obviously there's going to be a lot of high pressure going on there. Up towards Scandinavia, well, many parts of Scandinavia are looking drier than average too, although it's a bit wetter through the Baltic Sea, and that's extend into the west of Russia. I mean, as far as the Mediterranean is concerned, well, it's generally on the drier than average side through Spain, Portugal, and into the Balearic Islands of Corsica, Minorca, and Ibiza. But from Corsica and Sardinia eastwards into Italy, it actually looks very wet, and these wetter than average conditions do extend down in towards Greece as well. Much of the Balkans and southeastern Europe over to the Black Sea a little bit drier than average. So it varies from area to area, but through central parts of Europe a lot of dry weather on offer this week. We move through to week 30 for this year. It's week 2 for our forecast period. It's taking us from the 22nd through to the 28th of July. And those colder than average temperature anomalies are being forced right way back into western Russia now and down to the Black Sea. Still a little bit cooler than average over towards Greece and Turkey. But other than that, most parts of Europe are looking warmer than average and pretty hot through these western parts of Europe. So we've got Germany and Poland here going up to 3 to 6 degrees above average. Much of France going hot again, up to 3 to 6 degrees above average, and down into Spain and Portugal, it's looking quite hot too. So becoming hotter actually next week. Ireland and the UK looking very warm, temperatures up to 1 to 3 degrees above average quite widely across much of Ireland and the UK. And then as we go up to Scandinavia, there it's a little bit cooler. Temperature anomalies are generally close to average for much of Scandinavia. This does look a hotter week though for many parts of Europe, and particularly those western and southwestern parts of Europe. Precipitation wise, we're looking like this. Quite dry, really, for most parts of Europe. It looks a little bit more unsettled in the far northwest. So for northern parts of Sweden down to Norway, and then into particularly northern western parts of the UK, so Scotland down to Northern Ireland, it does look a little bit wetter than average there, and close to average with precipitation anomalies elsewhere in that northwestern corner. Otherwise, though, most parts of Europe are looking drier than average. So we've got drier than average conditions across France, for example, and then going over towards the Black Sea, also looking drier than average too. So going to be a lot of high pressure around through this week, and that's going to draw up those hot temperatures out of North Africa and the Mediterranean. Most of the Mediterranean looking reasonably dry as well. Then we go through to week 3. It's week 31 for the year. Week 3 for our forecast period, taking us from the 29th of July to 4th of August. A bit cooler than average in the far northeast of Europe, warmer than average. Not as warm as it is in week 2, but warmer than average through those central and western parts of Europe again. So once more from kind of like Poland and then down to through Germany into France. Generally, it's warmer than average through those parts of Europe. Most of the Med, particularly central and western portions of the Mediterranean, are looking warmer than average as well. A little bit on the cooler side down towards Greece and Turkey, and then up into the far northwest, as much as Scandinavia, into the UK and Ireland, close to average with a temperature anomaly zone. So possibly cooling a little bit by the beginning of August across Ireland and the UK. Also maybe turning a bit more unsettled across Ireland and the UK. Now, as we get through to week 3, the precipitation anomaly always weakens. That's because the model just loses the signal the further out you go. But it does show that it's a bit wetter than average there around the UK and Ireland. So this possibly implies that right at the very end of July into the beginning of August, it starts to turn cooler and more unsettled in the extreme northwest of Europe. Otherwise, there's not a great deal else going on from a precipitation perspective. Very, very weak signals, really. I suppose you would say that this whole northwestern portion could be a little bit unsettled, and then maybe hinting at being a bit drier than average across the east of Europe. But really, that's trying to interpret the chart too much, I think. Away from the UK and Ireland, the signals go very, very weak for precipitation in week 3. And then finally we get through to week 4. It's week 32 for the year. Excuse me. Excuse me again. And it's taking us from the 5th to the 11th of August. And this time the temperature anomaly is weakening as well. Still probably most parts of Europe are a little bit warmer than average, particularly the central areas, so kind of like focused around Germany and Poland. Possibly quite warm through there. And out in the northwest, maybe hinting at being a little bit on the warmer than average side for Ireland and UK too. Down into the Med, looking rather warm. But again, these are weak signals as we're going further out. The model is losing its signal, and that's true for precipitation as well. But you'll notice that once again, it does look rather unsettled, above average rainfall, sort of implied, certainly for Ireland and probably for many parts of the UK as well. So this could be indicating a chance of something rather more unsettled as we go into early August for the UK and Ireland. This is going to be one of those cases where August deteriorates. We've had a lot of those over the past few years in the UK. So would it be one of those Augusts where we see a deterioration of the weather pattern? We should wait and see. But it does imply that early August is a bit wetter than average for Ireland and the UK. Otherwise, again, the signals are very, very weak. It does look a little bit drier than average through the Med. Otherwise, close to average, really with precipitation through most areas as the model has lost the signal. So for the rest of July, it looks pretty warm. In fact, it's going to get hotter next week across many parts of Europe. You could have a real heat wave on way once again through parts of France in towards Central Europe too. So that'd be something obviously to keep an eye on in the shorter time frame. Then you get through to the end of July and beginning of August. It looks like temperatures begin to drop back a little bit then, and maybe turning rather more unsettled in the northwest. So for the UK and Ireland, we possibly, after a relatively dry and warm remainder of July, we possibly by the very closing days of July into August see something a little bit cooler and a little bit more unsettled developing. But again, really weak signals for that. So that's it for your 30-day look ahead for today. We'll do it all over again next week. Remember, any forecast over 5 to 7 days is going to be fraught with danger. It will come with a big health warning. So it's just a snapshot of what this model is showing this week. It could all look very, very different next week. We shall be back later on with your week to 10-day video update, so come back for that then. But that's all for now, and thanks for watching.